everybody. Welcome back. Dave's got to get himself hydrated. We're doing a lot of talking. We're full of hot air out here tonight. We're going to go through each team here, and we're going to break down and give them a positional grade. So team number one, their quarterbacks, Dave, are Patrick Mahomes, who they took in the 7th, and Kyler Murray, who they took in the 10th. What letter grade do you give that?
C.
Give it a C.
Mahomes is going to score, but Kyler Murray, stick with video games, man.
I'm going to give this a B just because I feel like in the 7th,
You got to give it a B
minus.
minus. I mean, you got Mahomes, but my thing is Mahomes showing up this year?
I don't know. He wasn't the same as last
Right.
year. I'm going to stick with
I'll give you a B minus. I'll give you a B minus.
All right, wide receivers. We've got Jamar Chase. We've got A.J. Brown. We've got Zay Flowers, Jerry Jeudy, Jacoby Myers. What letter grade do you give that?
B plus.
I'm going to go with you there. I like Chase as my number one.
And I think
don't
it's
mind
a
Brown as my number
solid
two.
core. I don't care for A.J. Brown. It's a hit and miss there, but I mean it's a solid core with the backups
Yeah, and
he got later.
I kind of like Jacoby Myers more than Jerry Jeudy.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. You got them both. I don't
Yeah.
care at this point where he took them.
Yeah.
He's got 5. I feel like that's enough depth.
Mm-hmm.
All right, running backs. We got Bucky Irving, Alvin Kamara. We've got Kenneth Walker, who I skipped over, so I apologize. Bucky Irving, Kenneth Walker, Alvin Kamara. I'll get there, everybody. And then we don't have anybody till all the way down to Trey Benson. He only has 4, and one of them is Trey Benson.
That's a C.
I got to give it a C too because you know how I feel about running backs.
Yeah. These aren't your strong running backs either. You should have been picking up some stronger running backs in the beginning.
I feel like if you're going to get Kenneth Walker with his injury history, you have to get.
You have to have a strong 1A running back.
Yeah, and he's got Bucky, who's okay. But if you get Kenneth
But
Walker,
you also have Bucky,
Charbonnet.
who had his offense coordinator not there anymore.
Yeah, 100% agreed. He grabbed Kenneth Walker. He did not grab Charbonnet. So, okay, man, I am going to probably have to actually downgrade the quarterback grades because he had an opportunity and he punted and went a different direction. Same with tight ends. He could have grabbed Charbonnet and he went a different direction. So I'm kind of with you.
You're coming around
Not sure if I'm going to punish the tight ends or the quarterback. Tight ends I'm not high on either, but we'll get to that here.
And the tight end group is literally a C. I mean,
It's just milk.
Yeah, it probably could even be a D.
I'm going to go D. I mean, Njoku had a good year last year, but we don't even know who the quarterback is.
We don't know who's throwing. I mean, Flacco's starting, but Flacco's also, I think, in his 70s from a football terminology.
Well,
so
and Britton Strange, he's got high upside, but literally he's just a dart throw, and he didn't have to be drafted. You could have grabbed somebody else and grabbed him off for free agency.
Yeah, that's awful. Yeah, that's a D.
Yeah. Overall, I'm just going to tell you the starting roster.
You don't even have to. I can tell you right now, it's a C minus. It's not bad. It's bad.
Because when you look at the depth here, I mean, if you say that
you're starting, basically you're starting Mahomes, and then you're going to start Chase. So that's your 1-2 punch, which is not a bad 1-2 punch. But after that, it starts to fade away.
It really does.
It does because you have Bucky Irvin, but you have a different offensive coordinator doesn't know if he's going to be using him and utilizing him like he was last year. So you run into A.J. Brown, who's really not a huge threat, but with all the other weapons they have on that offense with Hurts, that you're not going to have a high point output. Kenneth Walker's going to end up hurt because he's in Seattle. Mm-hmm. So I mean, it's not a good one.
Here's my issue. It is okay to be weak at one position, but this team is weak at two.
Everywhere. It's everywhere.
It's really weak, I would say, at tight end, and it's really weak at depth. There's just not enough depth. You don't.
I would even call it weak at running back. To be honest with you.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, your wide receiver core isn't bad, but your running backs are weak. You don't know what Kamara is going to be like in New Orleans with that whole thing going on down there. You have a lot of question marks on this team. So, anyways, moving on.
No, I'm with you on that. And I feel like if you're going to take Bucky Irving and Kenneth Walker, you better be loading up on other running backs. Yeah. But you already know my philosophy is always I take running backs.
But this is
they get hurt.
just strategically looking at this and based on what they have coming up. And again, we could all be wrong, but if you're looking at analytics and statistics and the foreshadowing of last season, it's awful.
This feels like a team that they drafted with who they thought was the best person available without looking at what their needs were.
Right. Or without any strategy in mind.
Yeah, just literally draft best player, but don't construct a roster.
Yeah, basically.
It's a best player, non-constructed roster.
Pretty much.
That's a great way of summarizing it. All right, let's go to my team. And I'm not going to give myself a grade, but I may defend my position.
No, you're good. No, I like your team. I think you did a great strategy with this. You can't go wrong with the running backs in the back, especially in this league with the way the settings are set up. So technically, I look at your first three picks as being running backs because Lamar Jackson is going to run the ball, and he's going to end up with touchdowns. He's going to do that.
You realize he threw for over 30 touchdowns again last year?
And he ran.
Yeah.
So technically, you've got yards from scrimmage 1, 2, and 3 punch. I think that's a great 1, 2, 3 round pickup. And then you start off 4, 5, and 6 with filling up your wide receiver core, which I don't think you can do much better. I mean, with what was available. You had Mike Evans, and then you get Cortland Sutton, who, by the way, I'm big high on Bo Nix and Denver. Like, they're great. And then DJ Moore, that right there in the 6th round is a value pick simply because that offense could explode. It said it might not explode right away, but it might explode in week 4 and throughout. So
You know what's interesting to me, Dave, is when I look at my team. Now, obviously, I'm biased because I'm the one that drafted it, and I'm thinking the way that I'm thinking. But I honestly kind of like my top 2 wide receivers, even though I waited until round 4, than some of the other teams' top 2 wide receivers. I started taking them in round 2.
Yes, yeah, that's what I mean, and you'll see what I mean when we come around the other teams here. But then, like, you follow that up though with David Montgomery, great running back number 2, right behind Gibbs.
He's my RB3.
Yeah, and he's a running back 3. And well, technically, I would call him 4, but I mean that would be me if you're basing it off draft order. So then after that, I'm not high on Stephon Diggs, but for number 1 wide receiver in New England at round 8,
And my wide receiver 4 on my team,
Right.
he's not a guy that will probably
and
ever start.
that's the point. You hear that? He's already established his starting core. So this is basically backing up his starting core with another capable starting core. And that's kind of what he's basically doing. Because you can look at this, you have Stephon Diggs at number 1, you have David Montgomery number 2, which is a high touchdown ratio, which he could plug in and be his number 1 for the week. You have that ability. And then you follow it up with Travis Etienne Jr. That ball, he's a baller. He's going to get touches. So then he's going to get yards and scrimmage. So again, another running back that can fill in, can play that wide receiver, running back, tight end slot, that flex slot. So I mean, it's a great draft. Javian Williams, another number 1, number 2.
He's number 1 on his team.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Number 1.
And Miles Sanders is the only number 2 behind him.
Yeah. Okay. That's right. Yeah. So Miles. Yeah. So yeah. Then so all these are RB1s with an RB2. What can you say? And then you're just shooting in the foot with
Jerome Ford.
Yeah, kind of going with Cleveland. I mean, he's going to run the ball,
But here's the thing: he's about to come off my team. So when I took Jerome Ford, you have to keep in mind that there are 2 rookies that they drafted. Jukins has still not signed his contract as of this recording, and I don't even know what date today is, the 14th, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So he was just cleared of all police charges. There's still going to be an NFL investigation, but he still hasn't signed his contract. There's really only 2 running backs, Jerome Ford and the other rookie that they drafted, who I do have other shares of in other leagues. I'm not going to mention his name because he's one of my sleepers. But Jerome Ford is expendable. He is one of those guys that's expendable. So there's another rookie out there. I'll give you the team, but I'm not going to give you the name, that I'm watching very closely out of Washington. And I'll probably go make that move tonight before I actually edit this video and put it out, so nobody that's watching this, that's my friends, can steal them from me. But here's the other thing that
I've already done it.
Here's the thing I failed to mention. This league has IR spots, and I went out and picked up Brandon Ayuk and put him in IR. So I do have another wide receiver that we don't see on here. But
yeah, but I mean, I can't really. I mean, that's the only thing, and I think it's just really Cleveland. I'm not high on Cleveland. I think it's still a mess out there. So that's the other thing. And I think the other sleeper here for tight end is out of Chicago is Cortland Loveland, which I'm a big fan of. Mm-hmm. So he's getting a lot of touches, a lot of things sent to him. But then you follow that back up with Kyle Pitts Senior.
That they're working out as a wide receiver.
And they're working as a wide receiver.
Finally.
So from this, and then you pick up a defense and a kicker, and the defense is a matchup because they play New York. I would do that in a heartbeat, just to have that for week 1, and then look at week 2.
And there's a point that I want to make here on my team here. So if I miss out on, and I'm going to miss out quite a bit on Brock Bowers and Trey McBride and Sam Laporta and George Kittle, if I'm missing out on those top 4 guys, I'm not going to take a guy like David Njoku just because.
No.
I am going to target Evan Ingram in as many leagues as I can get him, but I missed out on him too. I'm not going to target Mark Andrews just because. You know what I am going to do is I'm going to go out and swing for the fences.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what I've done with these 2 picks.
But at round 12 and round 13, that's where you swing for the fences.
Yeah, and notice that's when I finally.
And if you notice this draft, you win your draft between 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, technically. And everything else is kind of filling in the back. So, I mean, I think it's a solid draft. I give it probably an A for that. That's a solid draft.
Much appreciated. All right, let's move on to the next team. Fast and quick here. Let's do this.
So we basically start with number 1. You got, Barkley, which, I mean, we've talked about Barkley, injury prone. Pula Kanuka, I'm not a fan. I don't think.
Hula Nakua?
Yeah. Pronunciation, I apologize. I'm not good at it.
Puka Nakua.
Yeah, but then Allen's a good quarterback. This team basically looks consistent. They've got good players on it. I like Sam Laporta, their tight end. Great pick there. Even Jason Bates as a kicker late in the rounds is okay. It's okay, but I still give that whole team basically. I would give it about a B minus.
Yeah, to me, this is one of those middle of the pack.
Yeah.
Now there is some hope for some upside here.
Yeah. You have Marvin Harrison Jr., which
You
could
got to
have
hope that he's in the
Yeah.
sophomore season finds his way. You got Tedero McMillan that you have to hope.
Yeah.
Ricky Pearsall that I'm high on. The problem is that this is a team that's going to hold its own. I don't think it's a terrible team. I also don't think it's a league winner. If Saquon Barkley goes down, this team is sunk. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
But this is one of those teams that any given week can win
And
or
every game-
lose.
Yeah, or lose. Yeah.
That's the problem. This is a very middle of the pack team as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's go down here to Team 4. Let's do a positional grade again because I really want to look at this one. So they have 2 quarterbacks. I just got to tell you, in a 10-person league that's not a super flex, if you draft 2 quarterbacks, I know we talked about Team 1. If you've already got Patrick Mahomes, what are you doing taking Kyler Murray when you have other needs? This is another one of those teams. Like, why are you wasting a second pick on a quarterback? If you're taking Brock Purdy, why are you also taking Dak Prescott?
He should have took Dak Prescott before Brock Purdy, based off of the weapon situation in Dallas.
And when you look at what was available, where Brock Purdy went, they could have grabbed another wide receiver or another running back of value
and help stack them up because they started out pretty strong. I like their strong start out here with their wide receiver core. Where, I didn't think it was too bad. And then they piled back some running backs too with Taylor and Williams.
Yeah, so this team does kind of scare me because if you're looking at a starting, and I'm going to do starting roster based upon the way they drafted it because if they drafted it that way, it's probably how they're going to set it.
And so but they're weak with Hubbard. I don't think Hubbard's going to be as big as they say. But
Hubbard worries me with Rico Dowdle there as a 1,000-yard receiver.
Yeah. And so, but I don't think he lost this draft by the later rounds. I think he could have ended up picking a very good depth on his team, or she, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I mean, they could have picked up very good depth on this team. I don't think they did.
The first 5 rounds were strong because I will say Chuba Hubbard as your number 3 running back. I got no problem with that.
Yeah.
But I didn't care for the Devonta Smith, didn't care for Brock Purdy, didn't care for Mark Andrews. I like the Dak Prescott pick, but not if you've already got one. You should have gone elsewhere.
Right.
It just got a little off.
It's a C+ for me.
Yeah, I mean, you got the 2 tight ends. You got 2 quarterbacks.
And I don't think Mark Andrews is going to be that great this year. I don't think he's going to be that consistent.
Yeah.
So I think it's a C+ for me.
Yep. Now here's another team, and this one is interesting because we have been simultaneously high and low on this team all at once. You already know how I feel about the running back situation.
This team started out strong. I mean, the running back. I mean,
the first 4 rounds were
fantastic. 4 rounds are great. So if we go back after that, though, you got the wide receivers that are really strong with Garrett Wilson, McConley, and London. They're fantastic. That's a great pick. I think that's awesome. I said it's a little. You don't know how much they're going to produce, but they could be very big at it. So it just kind of depends. But then there's not much depth after that.
So here's what irks me about this team, where I think they got off the rails. So I don't have a problem with the Gibbs, the London, or the McConkey pick. I don't mind McConkey as my wide receiver 2. I love Garrett Wilson as my wide receiver 3. That's an absolute steal. TreVeyon Henderson, like I said, I drafted him in Dynasty. Here's what I don't understand. You go TreVeyon Henderson, which was about around too early. You take Jordan Mason around too early. Keep in mind this guy's picking 5th. He's not at the end. He's in the middle.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to reach. And then you go tight end, when you could have gotten some of these other running backs you desperately needed.
Well, you know who else is still out there? I mean, you still had, TreVeyon Henderson. You had Jalen Hurts, Swift. I mean, you had a lot of Pickens. I mean, you had a lot of people out there still.
Yeah, it's frustrating. I love the Justin Fields pick in the 10th. You got the dual threat quarterback in this particular league settings, but then you go with a second quarterback.
Yeah, and you pick up Jordan Love. I mean,
if you're going to pick up a second quarterback,
why pick up him? I mean, unless you can't play favoritism. If you are a fan of a team, you can't win a fantasy league by playing favoritism. So I'm just saying, because some of these look like favoritism picks at the end, which, I mean, I can get it, but at the same time, if you want to win, you can't do that. You have to look at it from an analytical view. So, I mean, that's what you have to look at.
And I would say this team to me is either a playoff team or a bottom tier team.
This is a hit or miss.
Well, and that's what I mean. If TreVeyon Henderson hits, if Jordan Mason steps up into that number 1 role over Aaron Jones, that's an iffy team. So, I mean, I don't even know if I can give it a grade except for an if. Maybe this is a to be determined.
Yeah,
a
it probably is.
An incomplete.
Yeah, it seems way off. So
now here's a team that I really like.
Yeah,
this
one scares me with your competition because I can already tell by the way it drafted. I'm going to give it about an A. So
I can already tell you this is a playoff team.
Yeah.
If you're just if you're not looking at how they're going to manage the team, if you're just looking at, but this, I don't have any doubt that this person is going to manage their team based upon the way they drafted, because they drafted with savvy. Jalen Hurts in the 5th, and guess what? They didn't take another one. They didn't need another one. Brock
And
Bowers is their
they-
only
they-
tight
they
end.
loaded
That's an
up on,
A.
Yeah, but they loaded up on wide receivers and running backs.
Now, here's the exactly. Here's the thing. They waited till the 4th round and got Brees Hall as their RB1. People are hating on Brees Hall unfairly. I think Brees Hall's a top 5 running back.
He's
Or
gonna
has
have a
that
good year.
upside.
But then you followed up with
Swift.
which
And
he's
Brian
gonna-
Robinson Jr.
Yeah.
and Tyrone Tracy. These guys are all RB1s on their team. And he did get Austin Eckler, who isn't his RB1 for his
But-
team, but he got Brian Robinson, so he's got the 1A, 1B on that one too.
that's a
Dunze,
very-
tremendous
very-
upside.
yeah.
Pickens,
It's
high
a very
upside, high
smart draft.
floor.
It's very good. The competition is going to be right now is going to be between you and this guy.
To me, this team that drafted 6 is definitely a playoff. When I look at this team, there is not a single harsh criticism that I can give them. I like this team.
it's great. It's a good team.
That's actually the kind of team that I would draft.
Yeah, it's a great team.
All right, so now here the team that drafted 7. This is another boomer bust team, and this
It
is
started out really good.
it did. But I'm going to say this is only a good team if Tyreek Hill performs. This is a good team if
Yeah,
Calvin
yeah.
Ridley is going to be able to perform.
Yeah, and I mean, I
If
can grade
Aaron Jones
this
stays
one.
healthy.
I would give it a D plus.
But here's the other thing: as much as we like that Baker Mayfield pick in the 9th, why are you taking Joe Burrow in the 6th and then
That's-
Baker Mayfield in the
Yeah,
9th?
because you don't need another back. So again, going back to the 2 other ones that got the A's, there's 1 quarterback. Everything else is running backs, wide receivers, 1 tight end. Everybody else is drafting 2 quarterbacks and not enough wide receivers or 2 tight ends. Like, you're not going to win a league that way.
Yeah, and I just the depth is worrisome. Number 1, I already said I don't trust Tyreek Hill. I like Devontae Adams, but Calvin Ridley is just riddled with question marks. Aaron Jones may not be the starter as much as I love. So this is why you also have to not just break down the round, why you have to break down the team. We love the Baker Mayfield pick in the 9th, but it doesn't make sense when you look at the team in its totality. Chris Olave, huge question marks. Cooper Kupp, huge question marks.
All new teams, all different quarterbacks, and you don't know how they're going to play and throw.
I do
And,
love
and
Ray
Ray
Davis.
Davis is a good pick, but I mean, I don't know how many touches he's going to get.
Yeah, I don't either. But in the 12th round, I didn't mind
Yeah,
that. And
it's not
Tyler
bad.
Warren's the only tight end. So, but here's the problem: like, oh boy,
Yeah.
this is a big if team. So here's the problem too: is you got Derrick Henry and James Cook as your 1-2 punch, but your third running back is Aaron Jones. Your
Yeah.
4th.
So
is Ray Davis.
technically, if you really want to look at it, you got Derrick Henry's kind of got injury prone the past couple of years. So you also have James Cook who's injury prone. So
Yeah, bye week's going to be rough as far as filling in your running backs.
yeah,
So, but this is one where they're just going to have to probably play free agency. If they manage this team, it could do okay. But this is a middle tier team, which is really heartbreaking because it started off so good in the first 3 rounds.
I give it a D plus.
I'll give it a C because to me it's just average.
Yeah.
It's just an average team.
I thought it could be better.
Definitely could have been.
So
Here's my first F, which is really kind of sad because there are players on this team that I like. I like Nico.
there's good players on this team, but there's no way to put together a winning team with this. It's just not going to happen.
Well, the running backs are just
Yeah,
glaring
yeah.
weakness.
Yeah, I mean, they started out with the 3 wide receivers. I was like, okay, that's good, but they're not the greatest of wide receivers I would have picked. Especially with what would be available at that point.
I just don't understand T. Higgins in the 3rd when you go wide receiver.
Yeah.
I do like Kittle. I like him in the 4th. And listen,
But Kittle's your best player on there right now.
I would say Nico. I think Nico's a stud.
Well, yeah, but it's still, he's got to get the ball.
This is true. But the R.J. Harvey and Caleb Johnson going rookie right there at running back, I don't understand how you can do that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so you grab Caleb Johnson, then you waste another pick 2 rounds later or 3 rounds later on Jalen Warren.
Yeah, so with this team, real quick, if you made a starting lineup with Jalen Waddle, Bo Nix, and you put Kittle in there, and Nico Collins, McKeek Neighbors, and no, that's still not going to work.
So yeah,
It doesn't
There's
work.
no way that in my mind can wrap this around and say that this team's going to be consistent. It's full of rookies and unproven commodities.
Yeah, and notice we're saying consistency because that's what you're looking for. This is 17 weeks. You need consistency. You don't just need the wham bam first game. You need 17 weeks of consistent play. So yeah. I'll agree with you. That's bad.
Yeah, this next team is one of those teams that if 3 of their players pop, they're going to get high. They're going to win that league.
This is drafted on hope, on high upside.
This is the very definition of strictly basing on upside.
Yeah,
because
you got McCaffrey, good running back, but he's been injury prone, real injury prone.
Devin Achane was not the same last year when Tua wasn't his quarterback.
Yep.
Trey McBride I like, but he doesn't score touchdowns. This is not a full point PPR. This is only half point.
Yeah, he's a third down clutch guy and not an end zone guy.
You know, Jackson Smith-Njigba, we already talked about that in the previous video. If you want to know my thought, which is stay away.
Yeah, and he's in Seattle. That's all you need to know. Metcalf is, I think, going to be decent if Ron gets going. So
yeah, I mean, I like Shane and Metcalf probably the most out of that so far.
But that's not going to carry your team.
And it's not. And again, I'm not trying to pick on these guys. Like Trey McBride is great in full point.
No, we're not
PPR.
trying to pick on anybody, but we're trying to give you a realistic analysis of what it is like when you draft a team.
So
that's what it comes down to. And you're managing this team, and you've got to understand what you're drafting, especially if you're putting money on the line. Some of these leagues get up $1,500, $2,000, $3,000, $5,000 buy-ins. And, like, you can win serious money. But if you're going to half-ass stuff like this and not put attention or detail into it,
or not thinking about the settings, because again, I like Trey McBride, but that's too early in a half point PPR for a tight end that doesn't catch touchdowns. Jackson Smith-Njigba, I like him, but that's probably 2 rounds before I would have taken him. DK, I got no problem with that. Jamison Williams, I got problems with that. Travis Hunter, I've got problems with that. I like the value of Mixon, so I can't argue too much with that.
Yeah, I like Joe Mixon.
I like the upside of Egbuka.
Yeah, and then later rounds with Herbert, but I mean, at the same time, I mean, that's your quarterback one. That's a great pickup at that point.
Yeah.
And that's decent.
There's
hope there. So I'll give this one a B. I'm
going to give it a B minus.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it a B minus because I feel like this was drafted as a PPR team and it's not a PPR league.
I will say that is a great PPR team. Though.
It is a great PPR team, but this is only half point. So I can't give it a B. I got to give it a B minus.
So again, it comes back to the strategy. So when you're drafting these leagues, you have to pay attention to what everybody else is drafting because you can kind of figure out where they're going with it. And then when they get off the rails, you'll be like, okay, that team's out. I don't need to worry about it. And
so this team right here is a clear-cut cellar dweller.
Oh, yes.
So I like Genty as much as the next person, but I'm not spending a first-round pick on
and
a
he's
rookie.
In Las Vegas. I'm going to say Oakland. They'll always be the Oakland Raiders to me, but
I can honestly say I like Jacobs in the second and Daniels in the third. Hampton is probably about a round too early for me. I know that's where he's going. Mm-hmm. But, geez, I mean, prove something first, right?
Yeah, but, I mean, he ends up being RB1 out there. I mean, it's a different story.
Yeah, so. but look at this team, though, Dave. You've started through the first 4 rounds, and 2 of your first 4-round picks are rookies. 2 of them, Genty in the first, Hampton in the fourth.
Yeah.
Neither one of those guys have taken a single snap in the NFL.
You're putting a lot of faith on them, and when they get hit by that massive linebacker that they've never seen before and don't know him out of freaking Pig Knuckle, Arkansas, and freaking lays him out.
Well, and what makes it worse is those guys are going to have to perform because his wide receivers aren't. Xavier Worthy is not a wide receiver 1 on any fantasy team. Rashee Rice facing suspension. Now, when he's out there, he'll be fine. Jordan Addison already is suspended. Chris Godwin is going to miss a major chunk of the year. And you cannot count on Josh Downs. You cannot count on any wide receiver out of Indy.
Yeah, I don't know if somebody just did this to throw names out there that they were thinking about, but that's an awful draft.
Yeah, I mean, it's terrible.
That's an F minus.
That's an F for me.
That's an F minus.
That's an easy F. That's a cellar dweller. All right,
that might be a G.
That might be obscene.
Yeah, obscene.
All right, everybody. We've done the breakdowns of the different rounds we've gone through. We've given each team a grade and tried to determine, based upon just the draft alone, who's a contender, who's not. Keep in mind, none of the draft matters if you don't manage your team throughout the regular season. More than anything, this once again proves that if you're going to be drafting, you need to know your league settings.
Yes, know your league settings and go in with a strategy once you know your league settings. Otherwise, you're going to end up like this cellar dweller here. Yeah. You know, basically, this team is awful.
Thanks for the donation.
Yeah, thanks for your money. Appreciate it. I'm going to win it, and because there's always money for first, second, or third. So
and keep in mind, this is a money league.
Yeah. So there's really he only has a couple teams to pay attention to, and basically the injury list and the matchups. Like,
you know what scares me the most about some of these other teams, though?
Well, they could explode
if they drafted. Well, some of these teams, if they drafted that bad, are they going to fall for a bunkus trade?
Yeah, and that's where you got to watch out. But that's where you check your settings too, because sometimes you can't really trade without majority rule, and if nobody knows.
But with only 2 or 3 good teams in this, it's possible it can squeak through anyway.
Yeah,
might as well be me. I'll be the shark in the room. Let me get started on it now.
Might as well. Money's money.
All right, go down to the comment section. Let us know who your favorite 4 teams are and who you think the bottom 2 teams are. Anything else, Dave?
No, I'm good.
All right.
Good. Been a great night.
Thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Have a good one.
See ya.